Okay, Kohalayim, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Harakah Kodash. I want to give double honors to the elders apostles of Great Millstone and Shalom to who we reference to as the hopeful elect. My name is Lamadia from the New York camp, and I was listening or watching this video with Alazar, and the name of the video is entitled Grla Reacts to GMS and the Deacon Scandal. So pretty much in the context of his video, you could see that this guy is desperate and he's doing his desperate attempt to create this narrative around GMS. And one of the main narratives that or his go-to narratives is that the apostles and the elders of GMS say to neglect your family, fuck your kids, and they'll play videos and take the videos out of context. Now, when it comes in regard of your family, what the apostles always taught, which we teach as well, is that we don't prioritize our family, our children before this truth. We don't even prioritize ourselves before this truth. So when you hear him play these clips of saying, fuck your family, that's in context of fuck your family if you have to choose between this truth and your family. Now, they might be cases where a guy might get into a circumstance where you have to choose. What do you value more? And we're gonna see more circumstances, especially when the MOTB get mandated. Who do you really serve? Do you serve um, man, or if you're of this world, or do you serve Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah? And that's another thing I must say about Alazar and the Deacon Akar, Deacon Hassad. These guys, the red flags was always there. These guys were super worldly. And then his wife that exposed them, they ain't right neither. Because they was blinded by the clout and drawing in money. They was mistaking the red flags for Six Flags. And he fucked around and found out. But without any further ado, I'm gonna play this video.
Shy. But we knew from day one that guy wasn't right. We've been getting on those guys.
And he don't like that when Apostle Gabar said we knew from day one, these guys wasn't right.
We've been getting on them for years.
Okay, so lie number one, you guys knew from day one he was right, but when he used to call in along with Yatab, Sergeant Yatab, when they used to be calling into General Yohana show and ISUPK show and confounding them, you guys made videos praising them. So no, from day one, you did not know he was off. That is a lie.
Now, when it comes to GMS, we give people their props when they teaching the correct doctrine. I don't mean they right. If vocab Malone decide to say the MOTB is the mark of the beast, we're gonna give him credit for that. That don't mean we saying vocab is a man of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? There was many times Elder Apostle Hall gave credit to the Sakari and the Genesis mode for teaching that the MOTB is the mark of the beast, and they didn't change their stance on that. But that's as far as it go. You know, at the same time, still looking at these guys ain't right. You guys are demons.
Hey, how you doing, man? We've been getting on them for years. All right, so you know what transpired is no news to us. We almost expected it. Anyway, she made a statement in her testimony about how she believed in the names because she learned the names. What transpired is no news to us. We almost expected it.
Well, you should have expected it. And here's how disingenuous Elder Apostle Gabar is and Great Millstone is. Because why wouldn't you expect behavior that you taught us to do? You guys literally taught us to talk down to women, to beat and abuse women, to take women's money, to uh, 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 not take care of kids, to abandon women and children. This was literally
Okay, so my question is, if these things was taught by the elders apostles and GMS, how come you guys the only one doing it? How come you guys the only one getting caught up out there? There's no there's no woman coming out on us. You know what I'm saying? Dishing out dirty laundry.
prescribed by the elders of Great Millstone. We were young, impressionable in the faith, and this is what you poured into us. The very behavior you're saying you're not surprised about, that the
First of all, now a lot of us came in young and impressionable. Like I myself, I will be 37 this year. I came in when I was 19 years old, what you will reference to as young and impressionable. And the stuff that you saying was prescribed was, and I'm in New York. That wasn't prescribed to me. And another thing is, why was you saying, if that's the case, why was you giving double honors to the elders? See, a lot of you guys, you do your videos, and in the intro, you say double honors to the elders apostles who rule well, but don't mean it. Because some of you guys are just followers. You don't mean what you say.
sister is complaining about is the very behavior that you guys encouraged us to do. I remember being young. I come into truth at 17 years old, right? And I remember my book of notes. I'm listening to this very elder Apostle Gabar. And at this point, this was before I even got my Bible. I didn't have a KJV. I had a Doe Rames, or however you say it, Bible. That's the only Bible I had. So, and if you know that Bible is like, it's different, a little bit different than the KJV. So I literally, when they would say a precept, I would write the whole precept down in my notebook. And I would write every pretty much word that would come out of their mouths down. And I remember Elder Apostle Gabar, this elder here, going to the scripture that says, desire a woman not for pleasure. And he literally, I write down, desire a woman not for pleasure, desire her for her money. This nigga right here.
Yeah, I could see why this guy got kicked out. Cause like you got guys like this that's just weird, bro. They just weirdos. Like you tell them the white man the devil, Now they on the job cursing out their supervisor, you know, going to their kids' school, calling their kids teacher the devil. Like nobody asks you to do all that extra shit. These are the guys that learn information and abuse it. Like, yeah, we might give you certain knowledge on woman's nature, but you gotta have discretion. Like no one ever told you like yeah, just get with a woman just for her money. So these guys just be making shit up. And that's what it is. You just make shit up. Matter of fact, since I'm on this, let's do this. Um, so I'm on Google. Let me try this. Okay, there we go. I typed in narrative mining. So let's look up what it means to mine narratives. So narrative mining, the practice of uncovering, extracting, and shaping compelling stories. I'm gonna read it again. The practice of uncovering, extracting, and shaping compelling stories or strategic themes for everyday activities, conversation, or raw data. Um, Now I'm gonna type in, can it be used for deception? And okay, and the answer came back yes. Narrative mining can absolutely be used for deception when the techniques used to extract and shape stories are weaponized. They transition from data storytelling into narrative manipulation and disinformation engineering. I like that term, disinformation engineering. And that's what, that's what this guy is doing. He using manipulation by trying to shape narratives. Now, it says weaponize disinformation. Now it says in a political warfare and intelligence, bad actors use data-driven narrative mining to scan social media platforms, identify what a target population cares about. Example: inflation, immigration, or racial tension, and pinpoint emotional triggers. And that's what he's trying to do. He trying to trigger emotion because these guys was caught out there doing all this weird shit, being pimps. This guy, him himself, Alazar, got caught up out there like he like his booty hole played with. He went from being the chief high priest to the chief high freak. Now let's go to straw man argument. A straw man argument is an informal, logical fallacy that occurs when someone distorts or exaggerates an opponent's actual position and then attacks that uh misrepresented version. So in other words, that's when someone take what you say and misrepresent it so your position could be attacked. I see that oftentimes in these different debates. The last time I see it done was with what's this woman name? Forget her name. Bear with me. What does it matter? So in the debate, she made her position was that I believe her position was because I watched this a while ago. She was explaining how the more a woman deals with a man, or the more partners a woman have, her value goes down. And then the person that she was debating tried to take what she said and flip it and say, "Oh, so what you saying is we shouldn't care about women lives?" Like, how do you go from um, a woman's sexual market value to a woman value? She tried to take what she said and make it about a woman value and life, meaning a woman life should have no value, and that's not what she said. But I would fall under straw man argument when somebody take what you say and misrepresent it and try to add their own meaning to what you're saying to trigger emotion to other listeners. That and all falls under manipulation. That falls under um, deception and gaslighting. Now, if you're not familiar with gaslighting, gaslighting is when a person try to make you question your reality. Example of that. There's a clip with Kevin Hart. I forget the actor name. It's gonna come to me later. He tells Kevin Hart his age, and Kevin Hart go, "Damn," and then Kevin Hart like, "Oh, nah, I ain't mean damn like damn. I'm a damn like damn. You 50? You 60?" That would be an example of gaslighting because they can't take back what you seen or what you heard. So what they do is try to make you question the interpretation of it. So I'm gonna go back to this bozo. Bear with me. But when you watch the video, Alazar, he's gonna take credit that these guys learned that shit from him. What are you talking about? Like this guy, he put his foot, in his own mouth. He takes credit that Alazar, no, not Alazar, Hakkar and Hassad, or they learned from him. Like they learned how to be more demons from him. Like all these things that all these conduct that these guys was carrying out, they all got it from him. They was, and then he goes to say like he was that before he came into the truth, and he was that when he so-called came into the truth. So how the hell you get that from GMS? But want to read something. This is Jude 1:10. But these speak evil of those things which they know not, but what they know naturally. And these guys wanted, their main downfall was them being carnal and not taking counsel, following direction or instruction. These guys always self-willed. They always wanted to do what the fuck they wanted to do. Now it says as brute beasts, as brute beasts. Now this guy called himself Gorilla Hebrew. And what's a gorilla? A brute beast. So it says as brute beasts and those things they corrupt themselves. Woe to them, for they have gone in the way of Cain and ran greedily after the errors of Balaam for reward. And these guys are all about money and perish and the gainsaying of Kor. Now let's go into the count with number 16. I'm gonna play it. Let me share this tab. So these men was in opposition of Moses, and they rose up men to follow them, and they presented themselves to be men of the Most High. And come to think about it, this might be Alazar and his deacons. Yeah, man. The dude, Cora, that could have been Alazar and Sakari. The guy that followed him could have been the Sakari. Yeah, that could have been Alazar, the Deacon Hassad, and the Deacon um um Deacon Hassad and other bozo. I can't even think of his name right now. Hakkad Hassad. There you go. Hey man, you watch what the Lord gonna do to Alazar and the Deacon Hassad and Hakkad. You wait, and the Most High is already exposing them. He exposing them now, but wait till like judgment comes fully down on these guys. Most High gonna make an example, onto these guys. Like the Lord gonna teach these guys some manners. This is coming from the God that that said that the how did they word it, that the word of the Most High, the Bible is not the word of the Most High, but the word of the Most High is in the Bible. This is what these guys said. And remember, early on, these guys were saying you don't got to worship Yahweh Shah. You just supposed to reverence Yahweh Shah pretty much as the big brother. You wait, man. You wait. So this is what you would call narrative mining, because what he's doing is he's playing clips of a scoffer chopping up videos and not giving full context to the video. And Apostle Hard never said just leave your kids and your children. This is in a situation. If it comes the truth, you got to pick between your truth and or your family. Because there's a lot of guys that had a woman, and the woman gave him an ultimatum. Well, either you're gonna be out there teaching, or you're gonna be with me on Saturdays and spend your time with me. You have a choice. You have to choose. You pick the truth. Just fucking go. That's simple. Now, if you have an unbelieving wife or woman, and the scripture speaks about she want to dwell with you, and she not hindering you from the truth, then you do well. You deal with her accordingly. You're not gonna leave her. But you do have women that will give you the ultimatum. So if she give you an ultimatum, you know what you're going to choose. It's that simple. These guys are demon, man. See, again, this is why I pulled up. I'm gonna read it again. Straw man argument. A straw man argument is an informal logical fallacy that occurs when someone distorts or exaggerates an opponent's actual position and then attack that misrepresented version. It creates an illusion of having defeated the original argument. You see that keyword illusion. Matter of fact, let me see something. I'm gonna ask the same question like I asked the other one. Can it be used for deception? See, this thing is like what he's doing is only going to work for the weak minded and the guys that's not grounded and that believes anything. Now it says yes, a straw man argument is frequently used as a tool for intentional deception. While the people sometimes use it a genuine misunderstanding, it is often deployed as a calculated tactic to manipulate an audience or discredit an opponent. And that's what we're seeing right now. Now, matter of fact, let's do this. Let's go to Matthew um, 10 and 34. Think not that I've come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father. Now, who's speaking? This is Yahweh Shah. What it means, he come to set a man at variance, meaning in opposition. Because when you come into the truth, your father, your mother, in most cases, is going to be non-believers. And in most cases, it just don't stop there. They do things to try to get you know to grieve you. rather than I don't believe, that's your thing, whatever, and being peaceful. A lot of cases, especially when you come in young, like I did. I came in, very young as a teenager, and I was still at that time. I was still living under my, my mother's roof, and I just dropped out of college. I said, "Fuck this shit," you know. I said, I'm going, I'm prioritize the truth. I said, "Fuck college," and Palau no, because I met Palau in college, and after I dropped out of college, Palau followed right not too far after me. But I read it again. For I am come to set a man variance against his father, and his daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. Because you may have family members, your mother, your father, aunt, uncle. They might be heavily into Christianity, Jehovah Witness, Roman Catholic. So it may be some opposition. So it says, and a man foes should be they in their own household. He that excuse me, he that verse 37, he that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. Meaning prioritizing your family before Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Because as long as you prioritize Yahweh Shem Yahushua, Yahweh Shem Yahushua will prioritize you. It will make sure you good, make sure your family good. Your kids will be good. That was the message. Like, you not to neglect your kids. Um, verse 38. And he that taketh not his cross and follow after me is not worthy of me. He that findeth his life shall lose it, and he that loseth his life for my sake shall find it. Okay. And I'm about to close in a little bit. Wait, huh? Wait, take the what and leave the what? I got that from Hassan Campbell. So, okay, for day one, this what you've been teaching a nigga, right? All right. But then you're not gonna put it on us because was this was who he was before the truth. Wait, like hold on, let's go to this. This guy's confused. Let me do this. Hold on, bear with me. No, I'm just gonna type it in. The look of cognitive dissonance. Because you see, this guy got major issues, bro. This guy Al Lazar. This guy got issues, bro. So cognitive dissonance is the psychological discomfort clash because the human, let me type in meaning. Maybe I get something. Man. Computer lagging now. That's okay. Okay, that was the point. Yeah. So it says cognitive dissonance is the psychological discomfort you feel when your actions, beliefs, or values clash. So, in other words, that's when a person have two opposing strong views, and these two opposing strong views it clashes, but they believe in both because the human brain naturally craves consistency. This mental friction causes stress. To stop the unease, the mind is driven to justify, alter, or rationalize the conflicting information. So that's consonant dissonance. Let me rewind it. Which that's not true. Beginning with Elder Positive Hall on down, the apostles been correcting, these guys. And other brothers been doing videos correcting these guys, trying to stray these guys back in the correct direction. But these guys are rebellious. And then these guys been pushing back. But that's all. That's all. I ain't gonna play the whole video. I'm gonna spare y'all the headache. So, Lord willing, until next time, we'll say Kohalayim Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Harakak Until next